One. We gonna get to it. We gonna get right to it. Right, the Bronx's own. We gonna get right to it. We gonna get.
What up?
Now we gonna get right to it. AOC in the
What's
building.
up, Fat Joe? How's it going?
I'm excited. First of all, I want to say, I really like you because I pull out my favorite sneakers. These are my
There
These
we
are my
go.
linens. These are my favorite Fat Joe sneaker ever. I'm a sneaker collector.
That
I brought
beautiful
that out for you.
colorway. I love the colorway. I appreciate that. And
That's
it
the
matches
linens.
with that beautiful mural, which we all know.
You know, that's Hector.
Señor Lavo, el cantante.
You know me, I got a rep. Now,
Amen.
AOC,
Amen.
I'm proud of you. You're a
Thank you.
Latina. You from the Bronx. I don't know how we never met each other in person yet. But
I know, seriously.
no, but I'm proud of you, and we don't have too many Latinas in the political realm that's representing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to get to it with you, though, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have real talk. This the real.
Let's
We
do
got
it.
two things. I want to sound like I know what I'm talking about, and you're gonna get all the street credibility in the world after this.
Okay, there we go.
So
there
we
we go.
both
We'll
got a
exchange.
win-win situation, right? Now let's go here with it. The question, right? So we don't dodge questions or nothing, AOC.
Oh no, of course.
I'm friendly. It's three things you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You can vote for Trump,
Mm-hmm.
you can vote for Biden,
Mm-hmm.
or you can not vote at all.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you gonna vote for?
In November, I'm gonna be voting for Joe Biden. That's what I'm gonna be doing. That's what I'm gonna be doing.
I love that, AOC. I love that. I love that. That you. So is this the first time you said you voting for Biden, or?
I mean, I've been saying this whole time that we gotta support the Democratic nominee, but
Is this the first time you said Joe Biden, that you're voting for Joe Biden? That's the question, publicly.
If this isn't the first time, this might be. It could be the second. I don't know. As far as this is the time where I'm saying it declaratively like this, I think.
That's beautiful.
Because you ask a straight question, I'm gonna give you a straight answer.
That is facts, yo, and I love you for that. So, breaking news: you will support Joe Biden. Bernie's your guy. Mm-hmm. Bernie's my daughter's guy. She's my executive. This is a family business. My daughter is executive producer. My wife is on the Diet Pepsi and on the lights. Mm-hmm. And we home making something out of nothing. Yeah. So Bernie was your guy, and you really, really support Bernie. My daughter loves him to death. I love a lot what Bernie has, just like you. I like a lot what you stand for. Some things, I'm more of a traditional Democrat, some concerns everybody had was, Bernie was like coming up with promising these things that they didn't believe he could bring, but I love that he stood for healthcare for all. I love that he didn't get no money from no lobbyist or nobody, because me personally, we're sponsored by Fan Mio. And we're going to say it, and we're going to love Fan Mio, this Fat Joe show. So I believe, just like you believe, that if somebody's giving you the money to run an election, then you have a certain loyalty to them.
Absolutely.
So, but I believe that the conversation, with people like you and Bernie, at least you move the conversation more to where it needs to be. And I heard a lot of stuff this election that I never heard, like systemic racism, all these things that was going on. And I know that was because Bernie, they had to address the situation because he was going to talk about it. You from the Bronx. Where from the Bronx?
So I live in Parkchester. My cousins and my goddaughters, they're out in Hunts Point, Longwood area. And I did a lot of community organizing in Longwood, Hunts Point, near where the banknote building is, by that like McDonald's gas station.
Because I was looking. I was looking. This ain't a trick question. This ain't. I was looking for you. Like I was like, where's this girl from? Because I know Tita from this block. I know this. I want to know where this girl is from because she's yelling the Bronx. You represent the Bronx. You represent Queens. You know, that's me. That's my house. I'm from the Bronx. My wife from Queens.
Yep. So that's where in Queens is she from?
She's from Jamaica, Queens, from where 50 Cent and them is from.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she from Jamaica, Queens. So, we could get to it like this. So you from the Bronx? You from Parkchester, right? I know you against. Explain to me your view on capitalism and people making money. Like, just explain that to me.
So, the way that I feel is that when we get to a point where we start to prioritize certain profit margins above people's core rights, like healthcare, their ability to have a living wage, their ability, when we pay people less than their ability to live, to have rent, to feed themselves, to send their kids to school, that it is unethical and that there is actually a limit to greed, right? And it's not to say that we shouldn't live prosperous lives. It's not to say that we should strive to materially improve our lives. But what it is to say is that there's got to be a point where we got to say, hold on, we need to check and we need to address climate change. We need to make sure that we aren't charging $4,000 a month for insulin for people who work at McDonald's, for people who work at Marshall's, for people who work at Taco Bell. There are some things that should not be for sale. Our lives should not be for sale. Our ability to go to a hospital should not be for sale. Our ability to leave a planet for our kids to live on should not be for sale. Black and brown bodies should not be for sale in jails and prisons. And there are some things that should not be for profit. Prisons should not be for profit. I think we should have public schools that we protect, that are high quality, that you don't have to go to an elite private school in order to get a good education. If you want to, you can. But we should have public schools that are free. We should have libraries that are free. And our college education should also be free, because as our economy evolves, our education needs to evolve. So what I believe is that we should have an economy that is centered on workers, where workers have control over their lives, where they aren't being exploited in warehouses. And ultimately, when people want to talk about democratic socialism and what is this and capitalism and all of these isms, essentially
communism.
When people talk about communism,
AOC. Man, I got some DMs. She's a communist. How you got a communist in here?
They've
been using that word forever in America. But I've never really met an American communist.
You know what's crazy though is that a lot of people do not know their own history. Did you know Martin Luther King was a democratic socialist? Did you know Albert Einstein was a democratic socialist? Do you know James Baldwin was an anti-capitalist? They don't teach us our own history. We had over 1,000 socialists elected in all different seats in the United States of America about 100 years ago. And you know what we had? One of the strongest labor movements. We had that's when we started to establish a 5-day work week. That's when we got weekends. That's when we stopped child labor. That's when we made all of these strides. And they don't teach any of that to us in school. We think it just happened. We think that people didn't give their lives. People got murdered in the streets so that we could have Saturday and Sunday off. And those were democratic socialists that did that. And it's, again, people are saying, oh, this is communism, this is that. No, the whole reason why we have labor rights is so that is due to these labor movements that said, listen, we need to make sure that we have a prosperous economy, but we also need to make sure that it is working for everyday people, that it's guaranteeing our rights.
Recently, I agree with a lot of stuff you said. That's what I'm saying. I agree with a lot of things you say. You're not crazy, and I care about the people. Even though, you know, people who make money like me, everybody says I'm supposed to be a Republican. I'm supposed to be for Trump. I'm supposed to be for the money. But even though no matter, I'm a capitalist, and I'm trying to make the most money I can in the universe and leave my family for generations to come wealth. But at the same time, I care about my people. That's why I'm a Democrat. So I agree with a lot of things you say. When I say capitalism, I say, like, if not for capitalism, how could we have somebody like J-Lo, who's a Boricua from the Bronx, A-Rod, who's a Dominican from Washington Heights? They just said they want to buy the New York Mets. You know, what do you feel about a move like that?
You know, I think that it's all about our context, right? So right now, in this world that we're living in, if power is going to be distributed in that way, then we got to be at the table, right? Like the way that our society is organized right now, if you're either going to be an owner, or oftentimes you are going to be owned. But that power structure, that relationship is something that I think we should question. But as long as things are lined up like that, we should be out there. We should be making sure that we have a seat at the table. We should be making sure that we're here empowering our communities, while at the same time asking, why were we born into these conditions and inequities in the first place? You know, and is that core relationship that we're talking about? It's because people make money off of us being in these kind of oppressive systems to begin with. And so the thing is, it's beautiful what you've been able to accomplish in your life. It's beautiful what J-Lo and A-Rod and those of us have been able to accomplish in our lives. But if it's just a handful of us, we need to start asking the deeper structural questions about not how can a couple of us get out of the hood. It's not about that. It's about how do we make society work for all of us, not just where Manhattan and all these folks in Manhattan get to go out to lunch because we're all serving them, you know, at Chipotle. It's about a deeper structural type of relationship.
You know, when I hear you, you're like a lightning rod. You're like a bull, right? And I'm the same way. There's no other way you could be Fat Joe in the hip hop business.
It's like where we come from.
Yeah, it's where we come from, you know. And but even in this business, I had to learn in a fast way, because, you know, I came in fresh off the streets, the Bronx, hardcore, and I had to become political in this game. So this whole game was politics. I do a favor for you. Don't step on that guy's toes. That's Russell Simmons. He's the dawn of the whole shit. Don't dislike. It was all politics.
Absolutely.
But sometimes when I watch you from afar, I say, are you so strong that you can alienate getting the job done? Because you're so strong with your views, and you lash out to the point of where, how could you make it the people come together and vote for you? Because when I hear this, me against the world, no, you for the people. So you got the people. Let's be clear. Don't diss AOC because you got the barbs. like you know, Nikki got the barbs, or the Beehive. You got the AOCs. Don't get that messed up. You got the AOCs. So you got your crew that believes in you. But how could you get other people to agree with you to pass laws and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, and it's an excellent question, because, you know, I feel like I'm going through very much that similar experience that you talking about, that you went through, in that, you know, I just 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, like 18 months ago, or almost 2 years ago, I literally went overnight from being a bartender to being one of the most closely scrutinized politicians in the United States. And it literally happened overnight. Like June 25th, no one cared about me. The only time anyone got mad at me was if I swiped my Metro card too slow. And then the next day, I win this primary, and I'm on Fox News and CNN and MSNBC, and who is this girl? And literally, like, I went home from our primary night party at 3 o'clock in the morning. I go to sleep for an hour, wake up, and I have to go to Morning Joe and start talking politics. And all of a sudden I'm on national television for the first time in my entire life at 28. And now it's 2 years later. And so I very much have been going through this process where it's like you're self-taught, right? And you have to do that so publicly.
You have to learn as you work.
Exactly. And you learn as you work. And there's going to be a bunch of people in the cheap seats saying, they messed up here, she messed up there, you shouldn't have done that, why'd you mess this up? And you have no choice but to learn and to make these mistakes publicly and to get your knocks and to get your bruises and to piss people off, but to also have people cheer you on, and you literally learn on the way. And so, I'm
going to tell you something I know from being older than you and from wisdom is one day you might change your opinion on some things in the future. And you might look back and be like, yo, I was a little, maybe I went too hard with this one. You know what I'm saying? Because, our minds change. It's nothing. There's one thing I hated about politics, I hate about politics, which I love politics, but I hate is that if you say something in 1969, you got to stick to it in 2020.
Yeah.
The shit changed. There's
absolutely.
Teslas, there's modern tech, like everything changes. Like, so why, if you say something in 1968, you're doomed in 2020?
Well, you know what I think it is? I think it's also how people explain it. Because here's the thing, is that I do think that right now, what people do appreciate is authenticity. So there's a difference between you having a position, genuinely having a new experience or getting educated on something or seeing something in a new way and changing your mind. There's a difference between that and politicians who are constantly kind of just going wherever the wind blows. And they are not changing their minds because it's what they believe. They're changing their minds because they think that that's what's politically convenient in that moment. Like when we look at how mass incarceration happened. It was a campaign of political pressure created by conservatives and also conservative Democrats that said, lock them up. And this was not just a racial thing, because there were politicians of all races that voted for, the 94 crime bill. And so I think it's absolutely, you're going to evolve in life, but it's about how authentic that is and the way that you communicate that. And I think if you say, hey, I messed up, if you're authentic about it, that's the best that you can ask for. And I think for me, I think there, is it possible that I'll look back and see, maybe I shouldn't have made that decision, this, that, and the other. Ultimately, I think that when I think about mistakes that I make or things I would have done differently, to me, they tend to be tactical. How I would have done something would be different, or how I would have prepared for something would be different. But one thing that at least I carry through with me in this work is that I always do what I believe. And if I, fall on my own sword, if I die by my own sword, if I, for whatever reason, don't get reelected, at least I kept it real about what I believed. And at least I was who I was every day when I woke up in the morning, and I was never trying to be anybody else. And I was never trying to pander to any type of belief that I didn't believe in. And so
you ever walked in there and looked at all these people and said, my God, these people are old? Have you ever walked in there and looked around and said,
all the time. Listen, especially when coronavirus is out here and our elderly populations are vulnerable. When this thing started, and I still think I don't know if all of us are going to make it through this. And that's a real thought. And it's very scary and it's very serious. And I don't mean just because everyone's old, but all of us are vulnerable. It's like a sandbox in there. You look at C-SPAN, that the floor of the House of Representatives, they got the fisheye lens. It looks really big, but in truth, it's very small. It's like a kindergarten. Everyone's all like close to each other, breathing on each other. And it's very scary. It's very, very scary.
Are they discussing new plans of how people are going to, is it going to be social distancing in the house? Like, what are they going to do it out of a different place or open?
So we're set to vote tomorrow. The plan is that they're just going to let in members, like they're going to let them in by their last name, something like 10 letters at a time, or even less, probably like 5 letters at a time or 7 letters at a time. So they're going to be like, okay, if your last name A through G, now you can go in, vote for X period of time, and then leave. And so they're going to be letting people in for small kind of batches at a time and then go out. And so voting's going to take a lot longer. They're not even, we were going to vote on proxy voting so that you could vote from a distance. You can vote from another city. They're not going to do that. And so people are in real, real danger. We have to get on planes to get over here. And for me, it's one thing, right? You know, for me, relative to like California or Florida or Texas, you know, I just have to come to DC from New York. It's a shorter haul than someone that has to come from Hawaii or Alaska. But still, like, it's very dangerous for every person that has to get on and do that.
What about Biden he hinted to a female vice president. Mm-hmm. What do you think about a female vice president?
So for me, it's a mixed bag. I would love for us to make that history. I think that history is important. I think that representation is important. But it's not just about, you know, is it a woman? It needs to be, who is that woman? What does that woman believe? And will that woman push him to be better as a president as well? Will that woman push our country to be better? And so, you know, I think it's really good that we have a female vice president, but it's also about what she's committed to, what policy she's committed to as well.
Stacey Abrams, how you like Stacey?
I love Stacey Abrams. I think she's doing the Lord's work down there in Georgia. You know, it's really serious.
They opening up Georgia in the middle of Corona.
They're going to kill people. They're going to kill people. And let's be really clear about who they're going to kill, because this is not just endangering everybody. They're going to kill frontline hourly workers, single mothers, people that are working hourly jobs, the vulnerable. In Las Vegas, the mayor of Las Vegas was saying, use us as a control group, and they wanted to open the casinos, and people were asking her, are you going to go on the floor with those casino workers? Are you going to go out there? And she said, you know, stuttering, no, I have a family. As though these other workers don't have families to go home to as well.
Exactly. In the Bronx, you did some major things. Tell me what you did since the Corona, how you raised these funds, how you got this money to the people. Break that down to us.
Yeah, so we're doing kind of an all-out relief effort in the Bronx. It's still going on, so anyone that's interested can just go to our website, Ocasio-Cortez.com/events. But what we're doing is that I started rolling over what would have normally been my campaign donations to just direct food pantry donations. And everything that we're doing with our email list, you know, a lot of people know I'm not backed by lobbyists. I'm backed by everyday people that pitch in $5, $15. So the average donation to my campaign is about $16. And it's just thousands of people that donate $16. And so what we did was that we rolled that over to thousands of people giving $16 to the food pantries. And so we've raised $250,000 to immigrant rights organizations, to criminal justice reform, food pantries. And every Friday I go out and deliver meals. So last Friday I was out at Throgs Neck Houses in NYCHA. The weekend before that, we were in Lafrac City in Corona. And, you know, we organize, we pack up all the meals from our community office, which is near Castle Hill, and then we pack them up and we ship them out every week.
Trump's ban on immigration. Do you think it was the smart thing to do right now, being the coronavirus and with the immigrants, or you think he should still allow the immigrants in the country right now?
So there's two things going on. One is that there are certain public health indicators where we should suspend non-essential travel, right? So there's multiple, like when people say what is immigration, is it anybody that's coming across? Are we suspending vacation travelers, tourists? That's one thing. But Trump is trying to take this moment. You know what he started saying? That not only is he closing off immigration, now today he's talking about suspending green cards and green card applications. So those are people who are living here that are trying to be on a path to citizenship. So now he's starting to ratchet things up and clamp down our ability to be America, to be a nation that is just overwhelmingly immigrant and have a heritage of immigrants. But you know what's the ultimate hypocrisy about this? Is that while he's talking about keeping people from coming inside, he is filling planes with COVID positive immigrants and putting them on planes to other countries. Is
that facts?
It is facts. There was a plane loaded up, sent to Guatemala, because they're still conducting deportations with COVID positive immigrants. The health ministry in Guatemala tested everybody when that plane landed, and about 75% of the people on the plane had tested positive for COVID-19. So if he is going to do this for public health reasons, we need to be suspending these deportations right now. By the way, these ICE detention centers, people are being locked up in these detention centers. They have not committed a crime. They're being locked up for civil issues, right? Procedural issues. They are being locked up. They're putting kids in cages. Kids and families in cages. And because COVID is starting to break out in these facilities, now they're essentially starting to put people in solitary confinement in conditions where they are trapped in 1-2 people, and they're stuck inside 23 hours a day. They get 30 minutes to an hour outside once a day, 1 hour a day, to do everything, to take your shower, to cook your food, to call your lawyer, to contact your family. It is inhumane what is happening. So the thing is, how I feel about Trump and about this whole thing is that if you're going to do this for public health reasons, do it for public health reasons. Do it in a way that is structured, that is informed by doctors, that is informed by public health officials. But if you're going to take this opportunity to just smash and grab and to try to hurt our communities, we cannot allow that to happen.
I agree. I'm going to get on a lighter note. You're from the Bronx. Your top 5 rappers of all time. It doesn't have to be Fat Joe. It don't have to be no Fat Joe. Fat Joe is out of this.
Top 5?
Top 5 rappers. Fat Joe's out.
This is
Big
hard.
Pun's still in, but Fat Joe out.
Okay. In order?
Nah, you could just say 5. I ain't going to make it that
top
hard.
5. Okay, I'm going to say just top 5. In the top 5, not in order. Nas. I think Big Pun is up there. I think, of course, we've got Biggie. I think Tupac. And the 5th one is so hard. KRS-One.
Ooh. You have a mean starting 5, yo. Yo, you have a mean. Now you making me. Now, I like you, man. Yo, I didn't know I liked you this much. That's crazy. That is a mean starting 5. Now we can end it. We can end this if you gotta go, whatever. But but if we end this one, I'm gonna end this one with this is what we call an alley-oop.
Okay.
This is the new Green Deal.
Oh yeah, Happy Earth Day. Today's
Happy
Earth Day.
Earth Day. And I'm in Miami, and I'm not gonna lie. The water looks happy. The trees look happy. The skies, no planes up there. It's a great jumpstart to helping global warming. So give us your idea about what's going on, and I know you behind the Green New Deal.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a really serious problem, and in fact, I think the issue with climate change, a lot of our problems with climate change actually do overlap with Corona, because it starts with politicians who deny science, who don't believe scientists, and they don't act fast enough. And so the thing starts getting out of control. And then when it starts getting out of control, it results in us having to fundamentally change our life, and people dying. And those people that are dying are the ones that are Black, brown, and low income first. All of that, all of those things apply in climate change as well. Except basically coronavirus is doing in a couple weeks and a couple months what climate change is doing to us over decades and over a decade. Mm-hmm. And so we have some really big problems, because if you're out there in Miami, Miami is going to have a really rough next couple decades. We're already seeing that there are towns and cities in Florida, my mom's in Florida, that are starting to flood on sunny days. Like there isn't even a bunch of things going wrong. It's just a sun shower, but because the tides are coming in stronger than they normally are, and they're slowly rising every year, there are towns and cities whose infrastructure, people are noticing. They're like, the water was not this high 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So what we really need to do in order to address this issue is have a massive jobs and infrastructure plan put in place. We need to rebuild our roads. We need to rebuild our bridges. We need to roll over our schools.
My daughter goes to a private school. She has a computer she takes to school this thin. You get a kid from the hood going to school, they got textbooks from 1934, 6 of them. Their back is like they're getting scoliosis, walking to school, and it's the schools are horrible.
And even right
they look
now,
like dungeons.
And the thing is, even right now, so now that all the schools are shut down, these classes have to happen digitally online. And there are kids that don't have iPads, that even if you have an iPad, it's not like every apartment in New York City, let alone the Bronx, has broadband Wi-Fi where you can stream video to be on your teacher. And so there's a real digital disparity that is going to lead to further community disparity due to the digital learning that has to happen in coronavirus. And it's not just kids in the hood either. It's kids in rural areas, kids that are out in really kind of far out, that are in kind of farming communities, like that aren't all plugged in with broadband either. And they're struggling from a lot of the same problems as well. And so we really got to address these issues, but we're going to have to rebuild our schools. We need to create a bunch of jobs. And by the way, everyone was like, all these Republicans were freaking out because oil prices tanked this week, right? And people are like, oh my God, what is this going to do? First of all, they're freaking out over the stock price. But if they were actually concerned about these workers, they will be fighting for their health care. They will be fighting to guarantee them a living wage. But they're not. And it's just like what we saw with these folks with the coal mines in Appalachia, where it's the coal companies that the politicians care more about than the actual coal workers. So we need to create jobs.
We're seeing that right now with the stimulus plan that they gave it to Ruth Chris and Shack. When we got small business owners, moms and pops, that can't pay the bills, they get murdered.
They're not getting anything. They're not getting what they need, and they're going to continue.
AOC, I'm gonna let you go. I know you're very important.
No problem.
You got to vote tomorrow. God bless you.
No, God bless.
I hope to see you again on the Fat Joe Show.
Likewise, of course. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe.
Bye. Bye. Boy, I tell you that AOC, boy, she's serious. She knows what she wants. She knows what the issue is. Whether you agree with her or not, just know she is what she is. and she's going to talk about what she want to talk about, and you either with it or you're not. I like a lot of stuff she got to say. She said today, as far as I could tell, it was the first place she ever said she's supporting Joe Biden. I know she's really, really behind Bernie, but Bernie gave it up to Joe, and she did the right thing. I look forward to her doing great things. With me, I understand also coming with that Bronx mentality and that hard, sometimes we so hard that we can't connect the dots with each other. And in time, she's going to figure out how to make these things happen. Because, sometimes we can't just argue with everybody, trust me, I know first things first. And, but this was amazing. I really, really appreciate her coming on here. Hold up. Let me see who's in the building. Let's talk to the people. Tomorrow we got a big show for you too. Based around The Last Dance.
Hi.
How you doing there?
Good, how are you?
What's going on? You can't be nervous now.
I wasn't expecting to actually get on.
Tell me about it. I don't think Trump expected to be the president either. He
But
just
hey,
was
it happened,
running,
right?
talking his talk. Then he became the president.
No, seriously.
How you doing? Where you from? What's your name?
I'm okay. My name is Sophia. I'm from Boston.
All right. How you doing? I heard the Corona's real big in Boston. It was big out there. You've been quarantined? You've been taking care of yourself?
Well, I've been trying to do the best that I can, but I'm an essential worker, so I have to go to work,
That's okay. You just got to watch yourself. We
Yeah.
appreciate you. What do you
Yeah,
do as an
thank you.
essential worker?
I'm a medical lab technician.
Look at that. An
Yeah.
angel. A God in this
Aw,
world.
thank
Now
you.
we all praying. No, we praying for you hard. Everybody.
Yeah.
Not just me. Everybody's praying for you. Day and
Thank
night,
you.
everybody's praying for you because you guys saving lives. You putting your life on the line. I'm paranoid to go to the supermarket. Imagine to go every day knowing that I'm going to deal with COVID-19 patients and all that. What
And
you
that's
guys
all
are
I've
doing
been
is
working
amazing.
on. Thank you. Thank you.
And
It's very stressful.
Of
It's
course
very
it is.
stressful because it's like any little thing, you're afraid to bring back home to your family, especially your loved ones. So it's stressful, but it is what it
It's
is.
stressful. Just know God is with you. Keep the faith. We with you. And just do everything safe.
Oh,
Everything
thank
safe.
you. I appreciate
All
that.
right? God
All
bless
right,
you.
thank you. Bye.
Real one. That's a real one right there. We got a real one right there. Hold on, let me see. Let me see who's here, man. Let me see who's here. Let me see. We got some names on here. Like, this Instagram, when I be shouting everybody out at the beginning, niggas got some weird names on this motherfucker. Yo, what's up, my brother?
Man, I love your music.
I can't see you. How you doing, my brother? What's your name? Where you from?
I can't see.
Nah, you gotta get back at me. You gotta get back. You gotta get back. You gotta get back. When we do this live, man, we never know who we gonna pick, and we gotta see your face. If we can't see your face, that's a problem. Tomorrow night, I want to do a show based on The Last Dance. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, the Bulls, Dennis Rodman. We're gonna talk to some people who had a lot to do with that, or people who have firsthand information.
Yeah, you hit me up.
Efrain Rivera, you've been hiding during the quarantine. I used to get every day a FaceTime from you. I don't get no FaceTime from you. Have you turned the corner to where you've gotten too famous and successful to talk to your brother?
Nah, I've been working, Playboy.
Yo, you been working in the corona?
Yeah, a lot of reading, a lot of shit, you know, the agents are sending me, a lot of scripts, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you're in full motion.
Yeah. Yeah, full motion with the, you know, without going outside, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing stopping. Come on. You hustlers, baby.
Yeah, you just shot. Everybody who don't know, or you do know, this is Eve Rivera, video director to the stars, now TV director to the stars. He just shot Power.
Yes, sir.
You've been waiting for that a long time, Eve. You've been waiting for that a long time.
Yeah, but I wanna thank you for believing in the brother. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that I've known you for over 25 years. You helped me out, man. You help out a lot of people. That's all I gotta say. Like, you help out a lot of famous people that are on right now. You put them in the game. Like, facts.
Listen.
That's why it don't call you the Don for no reason.
Thank you very much, Eve. And but I'm proud of you. You've worked with everybody from, I mean, well, one of the biggest things was I don't stop nobody, the big show. I don't stop nobody from getting money. We've been friends and brothers for many years. And one of the first clients to contact you besides Fat Joe, after he seen the Fat Joe show, Fat Joe video, was 50 Cent. And you said, yo, Joe, should I meet with this guy? This guy wants to meet with me. And I said, yo, Eve, go get that money. Go get this in the middle of the Fat Joe beef with 50 Cent. I said, go get that money. Yeah. And now you two are like tight as hell. Like, you pretty much responsible for me and him squashing the beef. Besides, rest in peace, Chris Lighty.
Right. Right.
How hard was it being around the crazy terror squad and the crazy G unit, thinking about, was you really thinking like, yo, I'm gonna squash this?
Nah, I think once I built a good relationship with Fifth, you know what I'm saying? I just kept telling him, man, I was like, yo, man. Like, he knew, you know what I'm saying? He knew I was Terror Squad. He knew I was down, you know what I'm saying, with Fat Joe. And I just kept telling him, I'm like, yo, man, like, Joe's a good guy. Like, y'all would really get along. You know what I'm saying? I was like, y'all should really figure this shit out. And I think, you know, we was working on that. You know that. Like, I kept working on that. And I think, you know, after Chris Lighty passed away, rest in peace, I think that kind of made things a little more tighter for us, you know what I'm saying, to make it happen. And I never forget, man, the BET Awards for the tribute. You called me up, you was like, yo, this dude is here. This dude saying what's up to dudes in the crew and all that. And I kept telling him, I'm like, yo, man, like, you good to go. Like, just let it be natural, you know what I'm saying? And I think that after that happened, you know, and then I think the second time where we really sat down was in LA. You know what I'm saying? I remember, you know, I don't even think you know this, but I remember we was out there shooting your video, right? I think, was that the one with you and Future? Nah, it was, I forgot which one it was.
Yeah, I think it's the one with me and Future.
The one with Future, right? And I think that's the first time I worked with Future. You know what I'm saying? Because of you, I got on with Future, and then me and Future been working ever since. But I remember talking to Fifth, and he's telling me, I hit him up, and I'm like, yo, what's up? I said, I'm coming to LA. He was like, damn, I'm about to leave. And I said, yo, I'm coming out here. I'm shooting with Joe. And he said, yo, I'm going to stay. He was, I'm going to stay because I want to hook up with him. You know what I'm saying? And that's when we made that happen. But the dude, you know, was willing to, you know, just make things straight.
I can't lie to you. He's been holding on to his end of the bargain. We've been cool ever since.
Yeah.
No problem. Straight shooter. That's all I can say. As far as me.
Yeah, and another thing is, you know, like you said, like, you know, I'm loyal. You know what I'm saying? I'm loyal to whoever is loyal to me and shit like that. And it goes beyond money and everything else. You know that, family first and everything else. But I remember, like when I told you, it was the same thing with him. Like, he had his beefs. And I was like, yo, so-and-so's hitting me up. And he said to me, yo, man, I ain't never going to stop you from making your money. He was like, go get your money. And I think just by me telling him, like, yo, like I gave him the heads up, like I gave you the heads up, just made the bond real. You get what I'm saying? That because we kept it real. You know what I'm saying? And that's what real niggas do, right? Real niggas gonna tell you, yo, get your money. Even though we know all money ain't good money, but in this situation, it was like, yo, like two of the realest niggas were like, yo, go get it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, let me tell you something. Obviously it's somebody local, but they're asking me about the Boy George movie.
Yeah.
They know you gonna do the Boy George movie.
Yeah.
You as good as your last hit, you as good as your last thing. Why the Boy George movie over any other script or We Meet a Million Gangsters? Why you chose to do the Boy George movie?
I'm gonna tell you, man, like it's the era, you know what I'm saying? The era we come from. And I think, and I'm beginning to something now that references you, but I think it's important in the sense that it was like the beginning, man. That was the beginning of like the fly shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, even talking to Dapper Dan was like, yo, he was one of my favorite customers. He used to come in all the time and buy everything, you know what I'm saying? And just knowing
Boy George is making $1 million in every block. Not
every
one block, every block.
16, 17 years old. You know what I'm saying?
He had the Midas touch. So I could tell you, and the thing is, a lot of times he put on niggas that would never get on. Like, like say they every hood had a guy named Bummy Felton or Bummy John or, somebody, they was least likely to ever see $1.
Right.
And you knew them for years and you walk past them and they ain't got no money. And then one day you walk past them and they got 5-7 Benzes on the block with gold chains on, playing soccer, this. And then you're like, holy shit, Boy George blessed them. Like, you just knew he was the one who changed their life, like a Midas touch. He came through, next thing you know, it was Benzes all over. Everybody's rich on the block. I got my stories. I started writing my book. So, I got my story and my interaction with Boy George. But if there was a street legend that would be my hero, it would be Boy George.
Right.
That's just the truth. So
I think at the end of the day, man, it's like, there's a million stories, right? Like there's all these stories, all these drug dealers and shit like that. And I was just talking to not too long ago, man. I was talking to what's his name, man? Not Guy Fisher. Man, I forget his name. But anyway, long story short, with George, man, what I really want to show is, we all love Paying in Full when that came out. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, where's the Latin version of that? You know what I'm saying? Like people got to see the real Bronx, that real era where it wasn't just Latin, but it was Latin and blacks. You know what I'm saying? And what made George's thing so interesting is that not a lot of people knew where he was getting his work from. You know what I'm saying? And so he told me everything. Like people don't even know the real story. Like when
I know the real story. I know the real story, but yo, let me tell you, yo, that's gonna be an amazing movie.
Well, I think what I'm doing is what we're doing is I'm finishing up. George called me every other day. Look at this, man. This is all his handwriting. Like he writes books, like everything, detail. Like the dude is incredible. The way he writes it, like it's crazy, right? So I think we're gonna probably do it on the G Unit Films. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to Fifth about that, and then once it's done, we get writers and all that shit, and put it all together. But I think we're gonna do it like a TV show, so that way it's longevity in it. You know what I'm saying? And we can switch out so many people, so many players in it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of stuff we could do with it. But he's excited about it because it's just the story's incredible, man. And we're not glorifying what he did.
Nah, you gonna talk about the era? Who gives a fuck? Who likes it?
Yeah.
Who don't?
Yeah.
You know, there's something for everybody. There's a guilty pleasure for everybody.
Right.
The same people who criticize it or law-abiding, upstanding citizens would be the first person to go to the movie theater or turn on their TV to see it.
Now it's gonna be dope. I mean,
you know how many decent law-abiding citizens are watching Power every week? They don't.
Yeah.
It's a movie. It's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the story we're gonna tell, it's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? I just feel bad, man. The dude's still in there for old laws. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been in now almost 30 years. You know what I'm saying? And he's
was
like,
a kid.
The kid, man. And you know, I think what we're talking about now is like trying to get him clemency. You know what I'm saying? I think what I got to do is just get that going, and then get like people talking about it, whatever the case is, and have people sign off on it. But you know, again, he's locked up for old laws. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude wasn't charged with a murder, not like that. All it was is conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? And money laundering. Like that's it. You know what I'm saying?
So he could come home. I wasn't sure if it wasn't murders. I thought it was murders involved.
Nah, they didn't hit him with none of that. You know what I'm saying? So he's been in it way too long. Yeah, way too long. So you know.
All right, Eve, let me get these people off the live. Let me
do your thing, bro. Love you, man.
Joe prayer with them. And stop being too fly for me, man.
Stop playing, man. I love you.
I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know, these guys get rich and famous, man. They forget the guy, you know. They forget Joe Crack, you know. Y'all, Lisa, what's up? You know, they forget Joe Crack. They get rich and famous. But check this out. God is great. Put God before you. I know this is a scary time. I know we all scared. Everybody's doing bad. I heard about a billionaire today who lost $9 billion. Whoever you care, whoever you know, everybody can't open their business. Everybody's not working. Everybody's doing bad on their level. So don't think it's just you. Everybody got to hustle. Look at me. This show is brought to you by FanMio. That's FANMIO. If you want to talk to your favorite artists, celebrities, baseball players, whatever, or athletes, you go there personally, one-on-one. We all need sponsors. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going down. We're going to talk about The Last Dance. Peace.